Jimmy Johnson teams up with Matt Kenseth, and Noah Gragson has been linked to Stewart-Haas Racing. Would they make a good pair? How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Busy NASCAR news week thus far, and if Carson Hocevar's Twitter bio is any indication, it's about to get even crazier. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also want to give a shout out real quick to Record Rack, Bucks for the Brave. Truck Series driver Spencer Boyd will join us at the end of the show to talk about this once-in-a-lifetime hunt that Record Rack puts on every year for first responders, military veterans. To learn more about this program, I encourage you to go click that top link down in the description below. Let's begin with some breaking news this morning out of Legacy Motor Club. They have hired NASCAR Hall of Famer Matt Kenseth to fill the role of competition advisor. According to the press release, Matt Kenseth's job will be to mentor Erik Jones and John Hunter Nemechek and to assist with the team's transition to Toyota for 2024. Joey Cohen, who is the VP of Racing Operations at Legacy Motor Club, said, quote, "Matt is going to help make this transition to Toyota smooth. He is one of the best drivers out there, and even though he is no longer behind the wheel, his perspective and advice will be crucial heading into next season for both our drivers and crews. I always try to be as neutral, as objective as possible on this show, but unfortunately in this instance it's going to be hard for me to hide my bias. I think Legacy Motor Club is making a brilliant decision. Big Matt Kenseth fan over here. Look, I doubt Kenseth is going to make a huge difference in this team from this year to next year, but I can't imagine he's going to hurt things. Young drivers like Erik Jones, John Hunter Nemechek need all the mentorship they can get. When Matt Kenseth was in his prime, which went on for many, many years, he was always known as a steady, consistent force. Often held others accountable, was typically no nonsense. I think Erik Jones, John Hunter Nemechek can only benefit from having someone like Matt Kenseth in the room with them. And then as far as the switch to Toyota, yeah, Matt Kenseth more or less finished his career with Toyota, TRD, Joe Gibbs Racing. While some things I'm sure have changed over the past 6 years, there's some familiarity there. Again, I think adding Matt Kenseth to the team can only help. It is interesting. Matt Kenseth will ultimately now be mentoring the young driver who effectively replaced him at JGR a few years back. I never picked up on any hard feelings between Kenseth and Erik Jones personally. Maybe I'm wrong, but clearly if there were hard feelings, they must have worked them out because now the two will be working very closely together. It is also interesting that Matt Kenseth is returning to Toyota, given how things ended there. Matt Kenseth returned to the Cup Series in 2018 to drive for Ford and then 2020 to drive for Chevy. So it's been a little while since Matt Kenseth and Toyota teamed up, but again, I think this is a great move. I'm happy to see Matt Kenseth still involved in the sport, working with some of the series' top young talents. Again, in this kind of role, there's no way he's going to hurt Legacy Motor Club. Time will tell how much he actually helps them, though. I'm bullish on Legacy Motor Club. I was bullish before this move was even announced. I think Erik Jones is great. We've seen what Carson Hocevar has been able to do in that equipment despite no manufacturer support the second half of this year. When they become a key Toyota partner next season, sure, there'll be some growing pains at first most likely, but before long, these Legacy Motor Club cars will be fast. I've always been an Erik Jones believer. John Hunter Nemechek has tore up the Xfinity Series this year. I think both cars will contend for a playoff spot. My guess is Erik Jones actually gets one, which would be a huge boost for this still very new NASCAR Cup Series team. Let's talk Cup Series silly season. We're late in the year, but there are still several seats up for grabs. One of the more notable rides that has not yet been claimed is the Spire Motorsports number 77. Now, every rumor floating around is pointed towards Carson Hocevar landing that seat. He was at Spire Motorsports' fan day in Charlotte last week. Now, he did make a couple Xfinity starts for the team earlier this year. That could be the only connection, but more than likely, Hocevar's going to Spire. He's teasing an announcement later tonight. I was going to wait and post this video after he made that announcement, but once the Matt Kenseth news broke, I had to sit down, talk in front of the camera. I couldn't wait any longer. If in fact Spire is signing Carson Hocevar, man, they have a very interesting driver lineup next year. They've got Corey LaJoie, who now becomes the veteran. He's their anchor, their constant. Then there's Zane Smith, who's kind of a wild card because he's technically under contract with Trackhouse, and Trackhouse will be supporting that ride. Now, many of those notes I'm sure Spire can take and put towards their other 2 cars, but that's kind of an interesting situation over there. Now Spire more than likely will sign Carson Hocevar, 20 years old. Corey LaJoie is your constant. Zane Smith is your kind of unknown wild card. Carson Hocevar potentially is your future star. He's got the raw speed. He'll figure out the next gen. Racecraft, patience, making the right decisions are things he may still struggle with at first. Again, he's only 20 years old. But between Hocevar and LaJoie, for sure, no disrespect to Corey LaJoie, Carson Hocevar has a much higher upside at this point. Spire Motorsports now with that Gainbridge connection, making a lot of big moves. They're looking to be more competitive in the Cup Series. They just purchased a Truck Series team. They're looking to become a powerhouse across the entire industry. Corey LaJoie, Zane Smith sort of, and Carson Hocevar. That is a very interesting driver lineup, a very exciting young core. We'll wait and see what the official announcement turns out to be, but assuming it's Hocevar to Spire, I'm looking forward to seeing what that team can do next year. They are officially, finally going for it, and I appreciate that. But we'll talk more about Carson Hocevar probably tomorrow. I was listening to Door Bumper Clear, Dirty Mo Media podcast earlier this week, and about midway through, Bob Pockrass of Fox Sports was the special guest this week, and he name-dropped Noah Gragson as a potential candidate to replace Eric Almirola in the Stewart-Haas Racing number 10.
Who's in the 10?
Ooh, it's a great question. It changes every few weeks. I think Noah Gragson's certainly a candidate for it.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's talked to several teams over the last month.
That's just a snippet. I encourage you to go listen to the full episode of Door Bumper Clear. That link is down in the description below. But Noah Gragson to Stewart-Haas Racing? Hey, good for him if it works out. But personally, I don't see how they fit. I don't see Noah Gragson with his big flamboyant personality and Tony Stewart gelling. Maybe that doesn't really matter since Tony Stewart seems to be pretty hands-off at this point. But even when you try to fit Noah Gragson into the rest of Stewart-Haas's driver lineup, you've got blue-collar Chase Briscoe from Indiana, blue-collar Josh Berry from Tennessee. You've got blue-collar Ryan Preece worked his way through the ranks to get here, scrapping by in less than stellar equipment. Then you add Noah Gragson to the mix. West Coast, Las Vegas, glitz and glamour Noah Gragson. On paper, it just doesn't fit for me. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, it just doesn't sound natural. If Gragson does get that seat, I imagine he's bringing some sponsorship to the table. Stewart-Haas will need something to make up for Smithfield likely backing out. I'm just not sure from purely a competition standpoint, Noah Gragson is ready to jump right back into the Cup Series. I'm not sure exactly where he fits in because he's already proven he can win and contend for championships in Xfinity. He doesn't need to go all the way back to trucks or ARCA. I'm ignoring the whole social media thing, the likes. I'm over that. He struggled in Cup this year. He was bad. Look, I know his cars weren't very good either, but Noah Gragson managed only 2 top 20 finishes in 21 Cup starts. 0 top 10s. His teammate, Eric Jones, obviously a few more years of experience, had an average finish of more than 8 positions better. And we've seen since they put Carson Hocevar in that 42, that car has come to life the second half of this season. I know Noah has gone out and run an ASA race or 2. I think he ran a Pinty's Series race. So he's still out there getting some seat time. He's still putting in some work. I respect that. Before Noah Gragson jumps back into a potentially top Cup Series ride like Stewart-Haas Racing is supposed to be, I just think he needs to rebuild his confidence a bit. Noah's always been a very emotional guy. He gets very high. He's also known to get very low, and that's tough to sustain in the Cup Series. The best drivers often stay right here somewhere around the middle. Jimmy Johnson, never too high, never too low. Matt Kenseth, never too high, never too low. Cole Custer made it to the Cup Series. He got that win his rookie year, but struggled in year 2, struggled in year 3, went back down to Xfinity. He looks like a championship contender again. I'm sure that's helped his confidence a ton. I'm not sure what the best fit for Noah Gragson is, but I'd be worried about putting him back in a Cup Series seat, putting all those expectations on him once again without first rebuilding some of his confidence. I don't think putting anyone in a Stewart-Haas Racing Cup Series ride is setting them up for success at this point. I mean, maybe Stewart-Haas takes a big step forward next year. You never know. They are a Ford key partner. They should be better than they are. But at this point, I'm not optimistic about Stewart-Haas's future. I honestly don't think that is the best or most natural fit. But it's just a rumor for now. According to Bob Pockrass, the leading candidate for the number 10 car seems to change every couple of weeks. Eric Almirola has still not officially announced his retirement. Cole Custer, Stewart-Haas Xfinity driver, has been mentioned as a potential replacement. Now we have Noah Gregson's name on that short list. Just very, very interesting to discuss and think about. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but Record Rack puts on a great program, Bucks for the Brave. Let's invite Spencer Boyd onto the show now to announce this year's winners and talk a little more about this great program. Welcome to the show now, Spencer Boyd, driver for Young's Motorsports in the Craftsman Truck Series. Spencer, it's great to have you. How you doing today?
Doing well, man. Happy to be here.
It's always good to talk to you. I know trucks are off this weekend, but I'm really excited about Homestead coming up next week. I'm planning to be at that race. It's going to be my first time there in a few years. Always a fun track to watch on TV. I wanted to ask you, Spencer, what makes Homestead Miami Speedway as a racetrack so unique to drive on?
Yeah, man. The fact that they haven't repaved that place, it's got a lot of characteristic. After a few laps, you're going to move up to the top and rip it right around the fence. And that's such like an art to be good at. So it's really fun. As a race car driver, you're driving on the edge and really close to the wall. So it takes laser focus. And for the fans, they're all looking for that Dale Jr. slide job.
Absolutely. Well, Spencer, the main reason I wanted to bring you on here today, you do great work promoting Bucks for the Brave program where people can nominate a military hero or first responder for the chance to win an epic hunting trip courtesy of Record Rack. What can you tell us a bit about this awesome experience? Because I know you've been on this hunt at least a couple of times, right?
Yeah, this is going to be my 5th or 6th year, man. I lose count. Such an amazing experience. Record Rack's been a great partner of mine and allowed me to be a part of their Bucks for the Brave hunt. Obviously, taking veterans down to Texas, Trinity Oaks, hunt of a lifetime. Myself being an outdoor guy, love whitetail hunting. They have whitetail, axis. It's fun, camaraderie, hanging out by the campfire and just hearing stories and, meeting some legends. But this year's a little bit different. This is the first year that they're having a female hunt. So really cool that we're going to have some women out there from fire, EMS, military. It's going to be cool. We've never done that before, so it should be a great time.
That's awesome. And I know another reason you're here today is to announce this year's winners. So Spencer, I guess take it away. Who is winning this hunt of a lifetime this year?
Yeah, so between the guys and the girls, we got 13 heroes going on this hunt, which is amazing. That's a lot. I've been there with 7 or 8, so it's going to be fun to have this many people and so many like-minded folks hanging out around the campfire. So this year we got Andrew Green, Fire, Brian Sloan, EMS, Chris Markison, Coast Guard, Jim Daniels, Law Enforcement, Larry O'Connor, Marine, Linda Randall, Army, Rachel DeHoyas, Navy, Ray Latash, U.S. Air Force, Chantel Mitchell, Army, Thomas Kelly, Navy, Tim Campbell, Purple Heart, awesome guy. I've read a little bit about him. He's from the Army, Sherry Sly from the Air Force, Craig Simmons from the Army. So some awesome heroes. It's going to be cool to have some men and women out there. Myself, I love hunting. It's so cool to see these guys and girls' reaction when they lay down. I mean, we're talking lifetime bucks out there. So just an all-around great experience.
That's fantastic. A great program that you and Record Rack both support. Getting back into racing a little bit, Spencer, while I have you, I know there's still a couple races left until the Championship 4 is set, but I wanted to ask if right now you have anyone who you're picking to win the Truck Series Championship or who's kind of jumping out at you, racing alongside them each week.
Man, I think Corey Heim, man, he's jumped out all year long. He's been really good, really consistent, good on every different racetrack, and being a fellow Hair Club ambassador, I got to cheer him on. He's having a standout year, so hopefully he can bring it home in Phoenix.
All right, it's Heim time. How about that? Well, Spencer Boyd, thank you so much for being on the show, supporting an awesome event there, Bucks for the Brave. We really love talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Follow along on Record Rack, Deer Feed's social media. Check out the event that we have coming up here on Veterans Day.
Again, I put a link down in the description below. You can learn a whole lot more about Record Rack and their efforts. But thank you to Spencer for joining the show. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe. That button is down there somewhere if you're new to the channel and you love all things NASCAR. And a huge thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters for your continued support. I will see you all again tomorrow, most likely. I'll also be hosting a live stream tomorrow night with some YouTube friends of mine, so I hope you tune in there. Should be a fun time. Come hang out. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I'll see you again real soon.